Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're talking all about the under eyes. And it's funny when you learn something by mistake. Because that's how I learn often. I have changed how I've been doing my under eyes, and it has just been phenomenal. Huge difference, a huge difference. Prior to this point, I had been using a wet beauty sponge. You wet it, get the excess water out, just like with the foundation, but I've been using like the other side of it. I use the Real Techniques. I would use the other side to do the under eyes. And I would always have to go over it with my fingers to kind of melt it in, so it wouldn't get into the fine lines. But also, I was running into the problem sometimes, if it's too wet or so, it can make it bunch up. It makes it look crepey, and it's just not a good thing. And one day I was getting ready. I was in a hurry, or I was thinking about something, I don't even know. Or I was just off my game that morning, and I pulled out a beauty sponge. It was this one, I don't know, maybe it was from Sephora, I'm not sure. I mean, it's just a no-name beauty blender, so not a beauty blender, but a beauty sponge. But I forgot to wet it. It was dry. And I put it under there, and I was like, because it's dry, it obviously feels different. I'm like, I forgot to wet it. But I was like, okay, whatever. So I just keep going. And then when I finished tapping in the concealer, I flipped the mirror over to the magnifying side, because that's what I always do. And I looked, and I'm like, oh my God. I didn't need to use my finger, because none of it went into fine lines, none of it got crepey, none of it had to be touched up. It was seamless. It was beautiful. I went right in with my NARS light reflecting powder, and set it. And that is the only way I have done my under eyes since. Not saying it matters with the sponge, it just matters if it's wet or dry. Keeping it dry has been the best thing for my under eyes. And amazingly so, after that, Wayne Goss on one of his videos said to use a dry makeup sponge. And I was like, because he knows everything, right? I just happened upon this information. But I'm telling you, try a dry makeup sponge as opposed to a wet one under the eyes, and see if that makes a difference. I'm not saying it's going to make a difference on everyone, because everyone's face, everyone's skin is different. But I'm saying for mine, it has been phenomenal. It doesn't take all the product off. It just lays it down in a flawless manner. I have never been able just to go put it on and go straight in with powder. I've never been able to do that until now. It has transformed. It is saving me time with my makeup. It is phenomenal. And I've actually used the dry one to go over my makeup in certain areas. My foundation, if it needed to be, So I really recommend, highly recommend, if you use a beauty sponge underneath the eyes, try dry and see if it makes a difference, because it has completely changed mine 100% for the better. So that's what I do when I find something like that. I want to share, because I want everyone to have beautiful, happy makeup days. So that's what we do here. That's what we do. That's why we share. I love you all. If you have any tips, leave those down below. And if you've used a dry one and it didn't work for you, leave that down below as well. Again, I'm saying it works for me. It has completely transformed my under eye game, so I wanted to share it with you. I love you all. I hope to see you all soon. Stick around. Subscribe down below if you haven't subscribed.